So timely that we are going to talk about the possible extent of the damage that this three-vessel oil spill could bring to Manila Bay and surrounding areas. We have with us tonight Attorney Gloria Ramos, Vice President of Oceania Philippines International. Attorney Gloria, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good evening, and thanks for having me. We welcome this invitation.
All right, we've heard the numbers already, and we saw your report, which you have published on social media also. Tell us first what your findings are. How bad could this possibly be, both for the environment and for our fishermen?
Well, it's a potential ecological catastrophe if the uh, over 1 million liters of oil will be leaking into the ocean, into Manila Bay. Kaya meron nang lumabas, but the owners are saying na uh, siniphon, ano pa nga, hindi daw yon kasi they undertook remedial measures to make sure na hindi mag-all spill despite the sinking. But we listened to the coastal residents and of course the local government units which have already declared a state of calamity. So may nangyayari na, may damages na, may loss of livelihoods na for the coastal communities, and of course, impact sa environment. Kaagad, meron na yan. Yung paggamit pa nga ng oil, yung mga chemicals, no, para ma-disperse yung oil, that's already toxic. And the industrial oil itself is toxic. So, paulit-ulit na lang ito, sabi nga ni Senator Tolentino, it's circuitous and makita mo talaga si Senator Tolentino and Senator Villar are really exasperated already because we are supposed to have a national oil spill contingency plan at may mga maraming batas to prevent or reduce, mitigate impacts of pollution, and this time is the oil pollution, pero hindi nasusunod. We pointed out, apart from our position paper, hearing from the various resource speakers, na kulang yung disclosure sa public. We really demand transparency and information. Na-notice namin, unlike in the incident in Mindoro, oil spill, which was only just last year, there was always a daily report from government. So that also gives a sense of, may trust ng konti sa gobyerno na they were fully disclosing what was happening. Also, if we are serious in really preventing oil pollution, kailangan talaga magbago yung mindset natin. We are just too dependent on fossil fuels. We deserve clean energy and we have a Renewable Energy Act. Pero parang wala pa rin. And then, consider also regulations in ecologically critical areas, and that's Manila Bay. Manila Bay is a source of livelihood, not just for those in the area, the provinces surrounding Manila Bay, but us Filipinos, we're fish eaters. It's a rich sardine spawning area. Ang wild birds, migratory pathway nila yan. At tayong mga Filipinos are really dependent on fish for our sustenance and nutrition. And what will happen now? Nagsabi ang governor ng Bataan, Governor Garcia, na wala nang bumibili sa isda kasi amoy na daw, langis.
Oo, yun nga yung sinabi nila, attorney, no, lumabas nga sa mga balita today na lasang oil daw or lasang fuel daw yung mga isda. Pero let's zoom in on yung sinabi ninyo. I think historically speaking, yung Manila Bay, kaya nga dito tinayo yung City of Manila nung mga Espanyol nung dumating sila before dahil nga napaka-rich nito and it's a source of life. Binanggit nyo na yung figures, so 60 migratory birds, marami ng threatened species. Babanggitin ko yung mga ibang mga pangyayari doon na modern, no? Isa na doon yung Dolomite Beach, isa na dyan yung napakaraming reclamation na nagyayari doon. Bukod doon sa oil spill, paano ba't nagsasama-sama tong mga bagong mga pakana dyan sa Manila Bay? And ano ba yung nagyayari sa ilalim? May pag-asa pa ba na malinis yung Manila Bay?
Alam mo, may Supreme Court ruling nga on Manila Bay that it should be restored to its former pristine state. Kaya nga, nagiging mandamus ruling yun. Mandamus compelling the agencies, there are many agencies involved to perform their mandates and make Manila Bay healthy and safe and clean and sustainable. Kailangan talaga desidido tayo eh. There has to be, I don't want to say political will, but there has to be that determination na ayusin natin ang ating kapaligiran, ang ating mga ang Manila Bay, no? And not just Manila Bay, but our waterways. So, on our part also, nakita din namin na hindi naman pwedeng palagi na lang ang gobyerno ang ating i-blame. Kailangan din tayo talagang mag-engage with government and the government agencies involved. For example, and we mentioned this in our report to the Senate, in our position paper to the Senate, we're thinking of having a compliance audit. It's so far as the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan is concerned, ang daming tanong na pwede mong maitanong sa mga ahensya. So this is going to guide agencies also and stakeholders because we have to be involved in this. But palagi na lang tong pabalik na at pabalik unless we do something. And kaya kailangan, and even among CSOs, already talking to really have a more forceful voice in this to reduce the pollution happening in Manila Bay.
Attorney Gloria, when it comes to response, sabi po ng Philippine Coast Guard, they've been working 24/7, siphoning operations have already begun. But are we doing enough? And what do you think is the most efficient way para ma-contain talaga po ang oil na ito?
Hindi talaga enough. Alam mo, kung 1 million liters of oil nga ang involved, dapat tier 3 na kaagad eh. What does it mean? All possible resources have to be there, national, international sources. Kailangan mag-call na for international assistance. And then the equipment should be ready. Eh, hindi nga ma-siphon kaagad na maghintay pa tayo ng ilang araw, di ba? Which really shows the lack of preparedness of government to do the job. So, kaya sabi nga ni Senator Tolentino, kasi andun yung DOLE, they have this tupad program. Sabi ni Senator Tolentino, sapat ba yun? So, dapat tupad at sapat ang response natin. Hindi lang oil spill, but, you know, in what is happening now. Because climate change is really there, but hindi pa natin na-acknowledge. That's shown by our denial. Now, we have to do something. For example, in other countries, meron talaga silang clear target for renewable energy, clean energy by 2030. And you can see, for example, in Hawaii, yung rooftops ng mga bahay doon, puro na solar panel, and then meron ng wind power. Nakikita mo, visible. Sa atin, saan ba? Nangyayari na ba yun? Kaya ano rin frustrating, it's painful, but we cannot stop and really, we really have to do our job. And that's why nag-extend kami soon after our Senate hearing. We had a conversation with Undersecretary Sarmiento of DOTR, and he was very, very kind and really wanted to help the fisher folks and said na those who are affected by this oil spill, they should connect immediately with the DOTR, and we're going to do our share also para sila ay macompensated from what is happening. But more than that, it's really already implementing the various laws that we have to ensure that we have a healthy, safe, resilient natural ecosystems. Mahina tayo doon.
Okay, Attorney, nabanggit nyo nga no, yung oil spill contingency fund na dapat i-audit. As far as you know, ginagamit po ba itong fund? Nag-e-exist po ba siya? Sinong may hawak dito? Kasi I think the other thing is, sabi nga ni Senator Francis Tolentino, no, the blame is attributable to government itself. But like you said, we should all take part. We should also be able to demand accountability when it is needed, right? So, minsan kasi hindi natin alam. Let's take nung nabanggit ninyo, February of last year, no, lumubog yung MT Princess Empress doon sa may malapit sa Verde Island Passage sa may Mindoro. Today, nakita ko kanina sa social media, sa Philippine Star, na they already, kumbaga, they dismissed yung regional director po ng Marina for that. So, yun, parang yun lang po yung nagyari out of that experience. Now, we have 3 tankers all in Bataan, many areas affected, no? How do we seek accountability? And where do we even start? Kasi parang dami nagtuturuan, di ba, walang nagyayari, like you said.
Yeah. I mentioned this kay Undersecretary Sarmiento na kung ayaw na state agencies to file cases, there's such a thing as citizen suit. So, kaya with more reason nga, mas engaged dapat ang mamamayan na to do everything. So, ang ginagawa ng Oceana, for example, gumagawa kami ng scorecard para malaman it's also to share what we know with our people na andun nakalista ano yung mga kailangan na gawin at kung pumasa ba o hindi, may pass or fail, and kung hindi, then ano yung mga remedies na kailangan. So, ang batas kasi at saka itong mga financial, or contracts or memorandums, ano siya, medyo technical. So, I am also aware na kailangan talaga isimplify ang lingwahe as much as possible, yung dialect ng mga tao na nasa komunidad. And that's why we are doing our share as well, yung lahat na ginagawa namin. And these are really accountability tools. Having compliance audit of government agencies, having scorecards, and this has proven to be very effective in stopping or even deterring projects that have the potential of destroying our environment. So we have close connections with our artisanal fisher folks and coastal communities, and we are really preparing to talk with them already on what can be done. Ang ginawa nga ng Oceana when this news of oil spill came out, we really reached out to our allies and partners sa coastal communities. But at the time, alam mo, they were suffering from the impacts of the typhoon. Hindi talaga sila makasagot. And it was just so, yung kawawang-kawawa, double whammy ang nangyayari, na tamaan sila sa flooding, sa devastation ng typhoon. Then here comes the news of the oil spill, which also again displaces them. Wala na silang livelihood. So, there has to be that sense of urgency. Ito yung dapat hingin natin sa gobyerno. A sense of urgency, transparency, and holding accountable those who have been remiss in the performance of their mandates.
Are you gonna file cases, Attorney Gloria, against the perpetrators or whoever is responsible for the 3 sunken boats moving forward just as a next step?
Well, kailangan kasi malaman ng mga tao ano yung mga remedies, and so we are there to offer our technical assistance like what we did in the Mindoro oil spill. We had conversations together with the SEED as the NGO with the communities there. We also went there for them to know na may remedies, at I'm glad that DOTR Undersecretary Sarmiento mismo ang nagsabi na there's going to be compensation for all of those affected. But we have to make sure na yung talagang funds na ina-allocate for the victims of the oil spill should properly go to them.
Alright, yun nga, no, nasa 80 million pesos na po ang losses ng ating mga fishermen sa ngayon. Wala pa doon yung environmental damage na hindi natin masusukat sa monetary amounts. Maraming salamat, no, para sa oras niyo tonight and for explaining the urgency of this matter with us. Oceana Philippines Vice President Attorney Gloria Ramos.